Okay, this is the video about starting the kiln. So yeah, enjoy. First thing to note, you'll notice there's lots of random stuff piled around it. That's okay, it's in the warehouse, that's what happens in the warehouse. Before you turn anything on, even think about turning anything on, we move everything out of the way. Okay, now that there's nothing around the kiln, clear area all the way around, you're ready. One important note, because of the way that the kiln is positioned, it's plugged in over here, and this cord lays on here, so this is this way so that you can do that. And then it looks like that. Literally just keeps the cord off the thing. Works perfectly fine. Oh my gosh, time warp! Different outfit, different day! No, just bad filming last night. So this is what you're gonna do after you hook up your cord to the cabinet. This is our fan mechanism. This cord needs to get plugged in separately. So we're gonna plug in this cord to this outlet over here. Now, it has a little switch right here. You should hear it. It's loud-ish. The reason that we want the fan on while we're candling, while you're firing at all, is because, especially in the beginning, when you're burning off those physical materials like water and the organic matter in that first 600 degrees, it's gassing off, and we don't want that everywhere in the building. So we turn the fan on so that it can suck the air out, and it comes out here, out that hole. Turn the fan on to the kiln. Yes, also turn the fans on in the building. The thermostats, both the front and the back, have an auto and on for the fan. You just have to toggle it down to on both of them. And then I keep this warehouse door closed, and then I also keep the door in between the front and the back closed, just to try to keep all the stuff back here. Before you start the kiln, start a new kiln log. Manual kilns require way more checking and babysitting and analyzing and data, and this helps us for the next firing. So if you're firing the manual kiln, you must do the kiln log. You must, not an optional endeavor. So with your kiln log, there will probably be one on the front from last time. It's super important that you don't throw those away. Do not throw them away. Put them in the back because we will use them again. I also printed out 2 of these, which are color charts. Our kiln does not have a thermocouple. There's no thermometer number to know what your temperature is, which sounds like bad, but that's how, most of history of the world and most of the people in the world now fire kilns. And you can do it. You just have to learn the colors and the smells, and this will help you if you don't already know. So I'm putting these over by the kiln logs underneath them so you can reference them when you're checking your kiln. Make sure that you can see, you won't be able to see them right now because it's dark in there, but make sure you can see the cone packs before you turn on the kiln. And then we're gonna put 2 of these in, not all 3. Actually, maybe we'll just put in 1. We're doing a bisque kiln, so grab the 08 of the cider kiln, or cider cones. This. We use cone 08 cider kilns. These guys are little. You will notice there also a box that looks exactly the same, just larger. We use both, but the little ones are the ones that we use to put in the cider. They're much smaller. You will be able to tell the difference. It also says small on there. And we want the 08 ones. There's another box that says 6. This is for a glaze firing. It says it right here. We cannot mix them up. You must do the correct one, especially for a bisque. Don't put a glaze cone and the bisque. That's worse than the other way around. Okay, you also want to make sure that these are all on off. Turn them all the way to the right, because we don't want them to be on when we turn on the kiln, because if you get power to that fuse and it's on and it gets like all at once, you can blow it. This is a very old kiln, so we want to like not shock the system. Make sure these are off. So this is the fuses and the relays and stuff. This is the sitter. That makes sense? Okay, this is what it looks like when it's done. Next, you're gonna like, this is how it's gonna be when it's done, but so if it's like that, just like, you can just twist it, it's very easy to twist. You're gonna lift this up, and then you're gonna lift that down. That should hold it in place. The way this works is when this cone melts, oh here, make sure it's like, you know, good in there. When this cone melts, this will dip, which will lift this up, which will allow this to fall, which will auto shut off your kiln. Okay, when we candle, we do either 1 or 2 peeps closed, and we crack the door lid. So I just use a kiln stilt like that. There is some big ones on the left that say kiln. Right here. Put them on. They will be off. Put them on. Okay, now is when you want to turn your fan on. So come over here. Flip your little switch. You should hear it go. Our kiln has zone heating, so these 3 zones correlate with these 3 rings. So the zone, is it 1 or zone 3 is on the bottom, so on and so forth. Generally, we turn up the bottom zones first. When I'm candling, I'm going to turn the bottom 2 zones to low. Before you will receive any power to any of this, you have to do one last thing with the sitter. So you've got it all hooked up right here, right? You've got it so it's balanced, but if you look in there, there's a little button. Push it all the way in. It'll like have a little give. 1, 2. Okay, the lights will come on because the relay has started. You will notice that the lights will go off. It doesn't mean that the power went off. It's just the light being on indicates that the relay is on. So they will blink on and off at, or like that the element is being heated. So it will blink on and off at different intervals based on how high you have it up. So when it's all the way up to 9 or 10 or 11 or high, the light will be on almost all the time and it will only go off sometimes. That's what the lights are, and you'll hear, you can hear the relays as well. What I actually ended up doing was leaving the bottom keep in and the fan on and the bottom 2 zones on low, with the lid cracked. Thanks for watching. If you're confused or feel overwhelmed or are worried about something, just ask. Call me. It'll all be fine. There's no crises. And you can do it. You just won't, all this stuff is just so that we get there well and safely. You got it.